the ordinary time cycle A. In the first reading from the book of the prophet Isaiah, the prophet tells us that God can use strangers to help us. In the 6th century BCE, the Babylonians defeated the kingdom of Judah, destroyed the city of Jerusalem and the temple that Solomon had built, and took the leaders and the skilled craftsmen into exile. Many longed to return home, even though Jerusalem was in ruins. When Cyrus of Persia took over the Babylonian Empire without a fight, he allowed the Jews to return home. The Jews declared him a Messiah, even though he was a follower of Zoroaster, a monotheistic prophet. In their eyes, the only true living God was directing Cyrus's hand, even though he was not Jewish. We have to be aware that God can use strangers and even those we think are our enemies to help us. St. Paul is one of those examples. He was a Pharisee and a persecutor of Christians, yet he became the apostle to the Gentiles. In today's gospel, the Pharisees are plotting with the Herodians to trap Jesus. They greeted Jesus with flattery, calling him honest, fair, and impartial. We have to be very aware and cautious when people greet us with flattery. They usually have ulterior motives. The Herodians were Jews who supported King Herod Antipas and were happy to cooperate with the Romans who had conquered Palestine. The census tax was a tax per person of 1 denarius, which all Jews had to pay to the Romans. On the coin, the denarius, was the image of Tiberius Caesar with the inscription, Tiberius Caesar, son of the divine Augustus, great high priest. If Jesus said it was not lawful under Jewish law, the Herodians would have accused him of aiding a revolt against the Romans. If he had said yes to paying the tax, the Pharisees would have accused him of being a Roman sympathizer who most Jews despise. For example, tax collectors who collected tax to the Romans were also despised and excluded from the temple and synagogue. You know, when Jesus asked to see a coin, the denarius, the crowd must have been very, very surprised how easily prominent Jews were able to produce the coin. It had the image of a false god on it, Caesar Augustus. Jesus avoided the question of the lawfulness of the tax. His answer was, repay to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and to God what belongs to God. One can argue indirectly that Jesus suggests that paying of taxes to secular or pagan governments is not against the will of God. The coin belonged to Caesar, who minted it. What belongs to God? What belongs to God? And the answer is everything. How do we repay God for all He has done for us? The mission of the church, instituted by Christ, is the creation of a society of peace and justice on earth and equality, where the greatest of all must be the servant of all. Since the vision of the society is that of this institution born by Jesus, and politicians are one who implement the vision of the society, there can be no separation of the church and state in terms of the vision for the society. All our time, talent, and treasure belong to God. Our talents, which are normally the primary source of our economic well-being, is a gift from God. The question is, how do we prioritize the use of our time, talent, and treasure among the following? First, our basic needs: food, clothing, shelter. Secondly, the lack of basic necessities of others. Third, support of the church to promote the spread and preaching of the gospel. 5, the support of civic institutions is mostly done by paying taxes. Finally, our leisure and relaxation. And the economic circumstances of the often supporting your church is more important than trying to impress your neighbors. Remember, our time, our talent, and our treasure all comes from God. And the question is, how much do we give back